Today's Cleveland Browns report is sponsored by RexMD, the #1 leader in men's telehealth, and they've got an awesome deal for the dog pound with deals up to 90% off or just $2 per dosage. I'll tell you more about them later on in the show, but give them a visit, rexmd.com/chat. Good morning, NFL free agency. The legal tampering window opens at noon, and I am excited. We have been building up to this for months, and the Browns now have about $23 million in cap space. Where did this newfound money come from? The thing we've all been waiting to happen finally happened. No, not RexMD, but it is Ian Rappaport tweeting out the Browns have restructured quarterback Deshaun Watson's contract, creating nearly $36 million in cap space. Source said the cap conversion gives plenty of room for Cleveland to work in free agency. I have gone to battle on Twitter with people that this was going to happen, and sure enough, it happens. Now, before we get any further, I want to just quickly explain for those of you that don't know what a restructuring really means, because the cap is a myth, it's for nerds, and it doesn't make sense really, but Deshaun Watson did not do the Browns a solid. He didn't take less money. That's not what restructuring your contract is. Restructuring your contract is just taking your base salary and prorating it into signing bonuses over the remaining years left on your contract. Most contract restructures, clubs don't even need the player's permission. You're still getting the same amount. It's just coming in a different form at a different time. So we knew this was going to happen. I know that the Browns can create more money in contract restructures. I don't think they should just max out every single player that they can restructure, because that money does just get kicked down the line a little bit. So the pros and cons is if you are planning on maybe cutting the player the next season, well, you just move that cap hit down the road and it's going to be an astronomical dead cap hit. But if you don't plan on cutting them, which the Browns don't plan on cutting players like Myles Garrett or Deshaun Watson for the rest of their contract, well, it's not the worst thing in the world because the cap keeps going up. So when you push that money down the road, $5 million now is not the same as $5 million in 3 years when the cap is going to be over $300 million. So I don't think they should do it for players like Nick Chubb, Wyatt Teller, Amari Cooper, but Myles Garrett or Deshaun Watson, I'm all aboard. So we got the boring, schmoring contract stuff behind us. The Browns got some money to spend. Let's dance, baby. And let's start off with Jessie Bates. Now, he is going to be a very wanted and coveted free agent target for a lot of teams. I know the Falcons have a lot of interest in him. I think he's going to get a contract in the range of $18 to $21 million a season. I saw somewhere out there that he was looking at the Minkah Fitzpatrick deal. That's about $21 million-ish. Wouldn't shock me. He's a really, really good safety, and he's a free agent. This is the nature of free agency. You always have to overpay a little bit because it's a bidding war. Everyone's got the opportunity to offer them a contract. So Jessie Bates is going to be an interesting target. I think he'll end up being out of the Browns' price range. If I had to make a prediction, I think a team with a lot of money like Atlanta could swoop in, and ultimately the Browns will just go, we tried, we wanted. I know there's a lot of smoke with him and Deshaun Watson sharing the same agent, but he's looking to get paid. And so if he gets paid, I don't think he's going to take less money to go to the Cleveland Browns and do them a solid. So with that being said, we got some more free agency buzz to get to in just a second. But fellas, do you sometimes lack confidence in the bedroom? We've all had those nights where we get too nervous or maybe had too much to drink. There's nothing worse than being able to put the stick shift in drive when you need it most. But have no fear, RexMD is here, spreading cheer even when you've had too many beers. RexMD is FDA approved and the most trusted leader in men's telehealth. They have sponsored today's Browns report to help you always be prepared. RexMD has made it simple, easy, and cost-effective to help all the men out there last a little longer and feel more confident in the bedroom. RexMD makes getting generic and branded Viagra or Cialis easy. Everything's online, even the prescription, and they deliver it discreetly to your door. No waiting rooms, no embarrassing trips to the doctor, no insurance, and no copays. Take advantage of their best deal they've ever offered and save up to 90% off and only pay $2 per dosage with our exclusive link. go to rexmd.com/chat for this limited time deal. Starter packs of generic Viagra or Cialis are now available for our listeners to get started. That's rexmd.com/chat for up to 90% off. I put that link in the comments and the description for everyone watching. Moving on to our next free agency nugget to hit on before the real big dance gets started, Javon Hargrave. Following Daron Payne's massive contract extension that netted him over $20 million a season, 21 on the dot, I believe, Hargrave's going to be looking in the same area. Right? That's just the way free agency works. Each player wants to get paid a little bit more than the last, whether they are deserving of it. I don't think he's going to get $21 million. Age is a big factor, right? He's 30 years old. Daron Payne's 26. He's coming off an 11-sack season. He is the #1 defensive tackle in the free agent market. I'm guessing he lands maybe closer to $19 million than $21 million a season. But he's another player that's in the sight for a big free agent spender, the Chicago Bears. So this is another possibility where the Browns, I'm sure, will try and be competitive, but the Bears have like triple the cap space the Browns have. So ultimately, if Chicago is dead set on getting Javon Hargrave, there's not a whole lot the Browns can do. Now, we've looked at 2 players so far. We're going to run through a bunch of names later on, but who do you want the Browns to sign? Who is your #1 player? For me, it's Javon Hargrave. I've said it before, but I'll say it again for one last time. I have scars from the Falcons rushing it 14 straight times. When the Chargers the next week rolled into town with the worst rushing team in football, and they put up 238 yards on the Browns. They have to address that issue. Another player on the defensive line, Dre'Mont Jones. This has been a name that's really picked up steam lately. Of course, he is from the Cleveland area, went to Ohio State. So it's always good for a reunion, a homecoming for all you Buckeyes fans watching to get one of your own back on the Brownies. Never opposed to that. But I am opposed to paying him $18-19 million. I'm okay with signing Dre'Mont Jones for $14 to $16 million-ish. But I'm not interested in paying someone $18 to $19 million who just come off the 6.5 sack season, tying his career high, never going 7 sacks or higher. So I just am not interested in overpaying for someone that sure might be trending in the right direction, but to me, $19 million is just too big of a gamble on a guy that has never actually shown he can be a double-digit sack player, and just banking on, well, it'll be different with Myles Garrett, and it might be, but it's just too risky for me. Call me a coward. It's just too risky. Now, we're going to have so many free agency videos coming your way over the next week plus, so make sure to subscribe. We're trying to reach our next milestone here at the channel, 18,000 subscribers. Make sure to hit that sub button. And if you're already subscribed and you already got your notifications on, do me a favor. Go to the comment section and tell me when you subscribed, like how many subs there were on the channel, or if you remember like the month or wherever when you subbed. Kind of curious to see how long people have been subscribed, but make sure you hit that sub button. Let's move on to see some wide receiver targets now. So Mary Kay put out an article over the weekend of some Browns wide receiver radar targets. Brandin Cooks could be a trade target for the Browns. I know there's been some dissenting or conflicting rumors on the interest of him. Elijah Moore, I think, is a sneaky one to watch for. Don't really see the Jets having much of a future plan with him. Could get him for cheap, and he's super young. Adam Thielen and Kevin Stefanski go back to their days in Minnesota. And then there's Odell Beckham Jr., which OBJ's OBJ. There's so much more to this. You can't really sum it up in 30 seconds. But with Baker gone, I think OBJ would be a lot more receptive to a reunion, and honestly, hard not to be excited about that. I like Mecole Hardman a lot. I think if the Browns can get him for $8 million, $9 million a season, I'd be all in. DJ Chark is a splashy name for this free agency pool. I don't know if he actually is a good fit with the Browns, though. Some other defensive line free agent targets, though. We talked about Hargrave and Dre'Mont Jones. Zach Allen is a sneaky name. He might not be a household name, but he was very popular in Arizona last year, so that's one to watch for. Samson Ebukam, the Niners just paid Deshaun Gibson, albeit not a lot. Could bring Jimmy Ward to Cleveland, but this is an under-the-radar name. Leonard Floyd is out with the Rams. I mean, talk about, him versus Dre'Mont Jones. I know Floyd's, got a couple more years on him, but Leonard Floyd's put up 3 straight seasons of 9+ sacks. That would be really fun, opposite of Garrett. Some other defensive line free agent targets. Marcus Davenport. I mean, the issue with him has always been availability. He only had half a sack last year in 15 games. But the year before that, he had 9 sacks in 11 games. So if you theoretically stretch it out to 17, you could get some great productivity. Teair Tart overlapped with Jim Schwartz in Tennessee. He's a restricted free agent, but it feels like Tennessee is cleaning house. So if he hits the open market, I think this could be a sleeper signing. Fletcher Cox, we know, is one of the best in the biz for quite some time. Who knows if Philly's going to retain him? Khalen Saunders and Tuttle, both players that might not be, home run defensive tackle free agent signings, but I think they could get the job done and be pretty productive for Cleveland. One more time, who do you want the Browns to sign? Make sure you light up the comment section. Give me your responses down below of which player you'd like to see the Browns go out and get. That's going to do it for us on today's show for now, okay? The moment the Browns start making moves, we're going to be breaking it down for you guys. We'll be getting videos. If it's a big move, we'll be going live, which is why you got to subscribe. Follow me on Twitter if you haven't already. That way you stay in the loop. I'll sign off and see you guys probably in a couple hours. Really excited. Free agency is here. Let's ride.